Great Lakes Prepping here. This is your weekly prepper report for the week of November 29th, 2020. So what's in the news this week? Big surprise, COVID-19. Apparently COVID-19 sites are doing their best to ramp up for what is expected to be a major post-Thanksgiving surge in testing and cases. So if you were thinking about getting a test in the next few days, I suppose you'd be wise to go out and do it pretty much right now. Hopefully avoid some of that surge if it hasn't already begun. And of course, even more new COVID-19 restrictions, such as a new stay-at-home order for Los Angeles County, travel quarantines in the California Bay Area, whatever on earth travel quarantines entail, and new limits on outdoor gatherings in New Jersey, and a whole bunch of other ones that I won't bother reading through. I think you get the picture. I know we're all sick of hearing about coronavirus and the Thanksgiving surge and blah, blah, blah. So how about we lighten the mood a bit with gun violence? More than 20 people were shot in Philadelphia over the weekend. 28 people shot in Chicago over the weekend. Only 7 shootings in Detroit over the weekend. Wow, not too shabby, Detroit. What's the correlation anyway with holidays and shootings? I know it happens more in high poverty urban cities and tons of them are gang related. But why do the holidays always seem to result in more shootings? Is it just more people gathering in one place? Is it a simple numbers game? The more people you gather in the same place, the higher likelihood that someone's going to start shooting? I don't know. Hey, what about some good news? I know that's a crazy concept, but I'm just trying it out. So I already know that some people won't care about this at all, but I'm personally quite excited about it. The United States Department of Defense is funding research into a new Lyme disease vaccine. They have committed $860,000 to develop a new vaccine for what is the most common vector-borne disease in the U.S. military, as well as the civilian population. I've talked a lot about Lyme disease and ticks in the past. I've made videos about it, written articles, and talked until I'm blue in the face. I am just plain scared of Lyme disease. I spent my entire life playing in the forests of northern Michigan, and I never once so much as saw a tick until about 5 or 6 years ago. I've found a few stuck to me since then, and I can't even step foot in the woods at this point without taking all manner of tick prevention precautions. The crazy thing is, we used to have a Lyme disease vaccine. It wasn't perfect because it only lasted about 5 years, but due to public relations issues and it being generally not very profitable, the only company who made the vaccine just stopped. And that was like 20 years ago. They even have a Lyme disease vaccine for dogs. It's ridiculous that there isn't one for people. 300,000 Americans, give or take, get infected with Lyme disease every year. It can be an absolute debilitating disease, and because of the tick explosion over the last decade, particularly in the Midwest and Northeast states, it's just going to get worse and worse. So I know the word vaccine will automatically make some of you scowl, but for me, this is very good news. Let's talk about the supply chain. A few weeks ago, I talked about a potential propane shortage. Well, it looks like it's here. Or more specifically, a propane tank shortage. Hardware stores and other retailers are having a hard time keeping portable propane tanks in stock. Portable propane canisters sales are expected to reach 500 million gallons this year, which is almost twice the 2019 sales. Almost twice. I've read firsthand accounts from people in the Northeast that many Home Depots are bone dry and don't expect to get really any more tanks in stock anytime soon. Strangely, people seem to be able to find the propane itself if they're determined to do so. It's the tanks that seem to be becoming impossible to find. The huge surge in propane buying and propane tank buying isn't due primarily to preppers or hoarders or even regular consumers. The sales are heavily driven by restaurants and other businesses who have been trying to adapt their outdoor areas as restriction-friendly places for customers to use. So if your barbecue tanks are running low, now's the time to take care of it. If you can't do a regular old tank swap like you maybe usually would, because they simply have no tanks with which to swap, find a local place that just refills your existing tanks. A lot of U-Haul locations, as well as various hardware stores, will do propane tank filling. Aside from that, it looks like restrictions on things like toilet paper and paper towels are still expanding, as seemingly regional cases of panic buying are still occurring. My local Kroger has more inventory and more variety of inventory than they've had in the last few weeks, but there's still a limit of one item per person. For now, meat of pretty much all types seems to be available, which is good. Some isolated cases of mouthwash being sold out in stores has been reported, likely something to do with the high demand for materials and ingredients that are used in the manufacturing of products that contain alcohol. I guess we could assume things like hand sanitizer. Okay, now for a couple of interesting deals I've seen. Legacy Food Storage. It looks like most or all of their emergency food products are 20% off right now when you use the coupon code Black Friday, all one word. And it also looks like they have free shipping on maybe everything, which is always nice. That's legacyfoodstorage.com. Bass Pro Shops has a 12-inch vacuum sealer machine for $89.97. Regular price, $119. Looks like a pretty good machine. I haven't used it personally, but it does have that accessory port, which you know I love for using the mason jar attachment. And I'll put a link to these things down in the description so you can find them easy. Also at Bass Pro, the best price I've seen in years on a Mr. Heater propane buddy heater, $79.97. These usually go for about $99, but you'll often see them in stores for as much as $120. This sale price is for a pretty ugly brown and camo colored heater, which I didn't even know they made until now. But at that price, I guess I don't really care about what color my propane heater is. Alright, this week's weekly challenge. I want everyone to think about smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. Obviously, smoke detectors are important. If your house is burning and you're sleeping, you're going to want to wake up for that. Carbon monoxide is perhaps even scarier because there won't be smoke, there won't be fire. Your pets won't probably alert you. I think there's been cases where animals have, but generally you just die in your sleep. And there's really no excuse not to have one or two carbon monoxide detectors. They don't cost that much. There's some pretty inexpensive ones out there. The ones I have just plug into the walls of my house. So I guess if my power goes out in the middle of the night, I might be in some kind of a predicament. Although I should check to see. They might have backup batteries in them. I honestly don't know. Put smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors in the main sections of your house. I know some codes or laws maybe even require smoke detectors to be in every room where people sleep in. I'm not sure if that's, 100% necessary. But definitely put detectors in the main areas of your home. If there's one sort of part of your house where all the bedrooms are, put a carbon monoxide detector and a smoke detector in or outside those rooms. If you have, the far other end of your house is where the kitchen is, put a detector or two there. In the basement or wherever you have your furnace and your water heater, which are, the likely culprits of creating that carbon monoxide problem, put them there or at the entrance to those rooms where you're likely to hear the thing. Check your batteries. Like I said, my carbon monoxide detector plugs right into the wall, but the smoke detectors all have batteries. And they start chirping at me when the batteries are running low, which is very frustrating because I would think that just makes the batteries run down even faster. But it's a good idea to just make sure your batteries are fresh. Maybe the chirping feature doesn't exist in the model you have. I don't know. Just make sure you got fresh batteries in there. Check it once a year. You should be good. It's just not something to screw around with, especially the carbon monoxide. There's a lot of people every year that die from carbon monoxide. Something goes terribly wrong with their furnace or the ventilation for their furnace, and that's it. Not so fun fact, the musician Weird Al Yankovic, both of his parents died in their sleep at the same time from carbon monoxide poisoning. Don't be like Weird Al Yankovic's parents. So that's your weekly prepper report for the week of November 29th, 2020. Hit the subscribe button and stay up to date on all our latest videos. And if you know of something that I ought to talk about in an upcoming weekly report, send me an email at greatlatesprepping@gmail.com. And as always, we'll end this video with a little something to wash the taste out of our mouths. That's right, dog videos. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay informed, stay prepared, and stay vigilant.